Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me okay. My name is Fran, otherwise known as Goal Art. So I do football art and I also talk a lot about Arsenal. Sometimes have some very hot takes, sometimes have some terrible takes, but I love Arsenal, I love football, I love art, and I love coming on and talking with you guys. So happy Friday. I hope you've all had a good week. I hope it's not been too long or painful. I hope all of your respective works have been not too painful. Hopefully it's the weekend now for a majority of us and we can relax and watch some really good football. So there is some really good football this weekend. Most notably, probably the Manchester derby, which you never really know how that one's going to go. If Lottie's watching, then I'm pretty sure you guys are going to get spanked. But either way, it'll be a good watch. What else? Arsenal, of course. How could I forget? I didn't forget. Don't worry. I've got a whole PowerPoint for you guys. So stay tuned because I have the most scandalous starting 11 I think you've ever seen, and you're all going to unsubscribe. But before that, please hit the likes on your way in and click the share button and then go copy link. And apparently the algorithm likes that, but you don't actually have to share it. Because my aim is to get 45 likes today and to get to 600 subscribers before Halloween. So we need 10 more subscribers today or before Halloween, and then I'll be like the happiest person ever. So thank you very much for tuning in. Yes, welcome. We're going to discuss everything to do with the Sheffield match tomorrow, where I hope we will be seeing a confident Arsenal making a statement and putting their mark down to the rest of the league, saying, enough of this controversy, this speculation. We are Arsenal. We are as good as people thought we were last year, even better. And this is us. People are so tuned in to every single Arsenal result because they so desperately want us to be like worse than last year. So let's use this to make a statement, put our stake in the North Pole, if you will, and say we're here to win it. So I'm really excited. And we're also going to do my favourite bit, your favourite bit, player ratings for Sevilla right at the end. So please hang on in there and you're going to hate my starting 11. So let's go. Gooner Gathering says shared on Gooner Gathering socials. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe to those guys. They are the nicest and the most knowledgeable and I love them. The tails are back. Love it. Very quiet work-wise. Lots of soppy writing instead. Phil with the poetry. I love it. Rami and goal. Actually, no, but you'll have to wait and see. Hey, Tyrell Gunner TV. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the chat. Happy Friday night. It's everyone subscribe to Tyrell Gunner TV. Anyone in the chat, feel free to plug your shows. Let us know when you're going live. I don't care if you like promote your channel in the chat. Like we're all here for each other. So, hey, Jordan, who are you guys playing this weekend? Arsenal, as I said, will be playing Sheffield United tomorrow. So, as I mentioned, we're going to do a Sheffield preview. In that, I've got a little bit of tactics, a little bit about their form, which, spoiler alert, is not very good. I've got our most recent injury news, and then the starting 11, which is outrageous. So you need to prepare your starting 11s for that bit. And then put in your score predictions. I've already seen a couple of them in the chat, but I'll star them all and see later on what we're thinking. Rancid Pumpkin did say, we face an opponent who is rock bottom. The naive fan would say 4-0 or something like that. Rancid Pumpkin, you're going to see then that I am highly naive when you look at my score prediction. But we all know how this game is panning out. We have to fight for 90 minutes and win it 2-1. Yes, I have a lot of positive energy going into this game, but if Arsenal are still Arsenal, then we'll be like 1-0 down and maybe win it 2-1 in the last 5 minutes. I hope that's not the case because my blood pressure can't quite handle that again this weekend. So I just want to see a comfortable victory. I want to see us scoring. I want to see players getting minutes. I want to just see a really comfortable performance to shut up all the speculation and just give us a bit of confidence. So yeah, big up to the chat. Thank you very much for joining me. And let's get into the presentation. You guys know how much I love a presentation. Probably too much, but let's go. So I thought we'd start with looking at the Premier League table. It's quite disgusting viewing, really, with Tottenham sat at the top. And I believe they could extend their lead to 5 points if they beat Crystal Palace tonight. So I'm sure you, like me, are all Crystal Palace fans tonight. Yes, big up the Eagles. Are they the Eagles? I think they are. Crystal Palace for the win tonight. Hopefully we'll be done in time that I can go and stick that on the telly and cheer for them with all of my soul. Because Tottenham are very big for their boots at the moment. So, hey, Guna Matters is here as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I need to get back to everyone. I'm really sorry. But big up to everyone. Feel free to just chat to each other. Just make it a nice social space to hang out, chat Arsenal. So Tottenham, disgusting, top of the table. Let's ignore that. Arsenal, joint second place with 21 points, drawing with Man City. Obviously, we had quite a disappointing result last time out against Chelsea, at least for me. For me, it was definitely 2 points lost, not a point gained. And if you go and watch my player ratings video, it was pretty savage. I think I gave someone a 0.75. It was not good. So I really want to see a rebound into form in the league for sure, because I'm just fed up with all the noise around Arsenal when clubs like Liverpool are barely getting any scrutiny, and they've got 1 point less than us. But it's Arsenal, it shows that they're worried about us. So there we go. Guna Gathering says FFP, Fran's fantastic PowerPoint. Thanks. Oh, Static, hello, big up the moderator extraordinaire in every chat ever for Arsenal, famous amongst the Arsenal chat community. Thank you for joining me. Hello, thank you so much everyone for joining me. Okay, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the table, if I remove Static here, Sheffield United are sitting right at the bottom, and as you can see by the 5 X's in red to the right of their name, they have in fact, yes, lost their last 5 games. So, looking at it on the surface, I would not blame you for thinking, and we probably actually should be thinking, this should be an easy victory. However, as we know in the Premier League, there are no easy victories. The pressure is most definitely on Arsenal. Sheffield will be seeing this as a free hit, and what we cannot afford to do is go in complacently. However, I would like to see a bit of rotation, and we will get into that. Right. Phil says, I used to live a short bus ride from the mighty Palace. That's very cool. My granddad used to go to Palace games during the war when he was a kid. So it's super cool. Hey, Spencer, I believe it is. What's up, my guy? Fran, thank you. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well too, Static. I know you had to leave the other day with some personal issues. I hope it's all going okay. But yeah, let's keep going. That is the table. It looks like it should be a comprehensive victory, but as we know, with Arsenal, nothing is ever straightforward. And as we go into this weekend, we really need to secure a good victory. And I want to see some goals. I want to see some exciting goals, some spicy football, some flair, a bit of flow. That's what I really want to see. So remember to hit the like, subscribe. I want to try and get to 600 subs before Halloween. That would make my year. Right, so Sheffield United up in the north of England, Yorkshire. They were promoted last season and are currently on track to have, I think they've got the second worst start in Premier League history besides themselves in the 2021 season, I think it was that I was reading. So they're really not off to a good start. And I was reading all about them today. Apparently they got promoted through playing this high pressing, quite aggressive form of football, which worked really well in the Championship, but it's just leaving them really vulnerable to breaks in the Prem. But they have been causing trouble to a few of the top 6 teams, which we'll get into, and they're definitely not to be taken lightly. However, they are there for the taking. As Guna Gathering just said, actually thought Sheffield United were good against Man U last time out. They were good, and they were also good against Spurs. They've been on the verge of Spurs. I said that so weirdly. They're on the verge of a draw or a win against one of the top 6, definitely. And please let it not be Arsenal. So Tottenham nearly tripped up against them. Manchester United nearly tripped up against them. Arsenal are next. Third time lucky for Sheffield. Let's hope not. Easy wins are boring. This is why I love Arsenal. I know it must be so boring being a Man City fan. Yeah, I'd hate to be in that position. God. Hello, Niall. Hello, Taib. Doesn't Swansea have the worst record in the EPL? I think I was looking at stats for like the worst start. The worst record, that sounds pretty Swansea, to be fair. Hey, Ensman, hello. Doing great things on your channel. It was a Liverpool watch-along, wasn't it, in the Europa League? You got, I think the final score was 3-1 against Toulouse. It's quite annoying. I like Liverpool, but I lived in Toulouse for a little bit, so I wanted them to win. But Liverpool are looking pretty good, not going to lie. You guys are kind of sneaking quite quietly and inconspicuously into third, fourth, definitely top four, could even go for second, third. We've got to try and stop that happening. And this is a great opportunity this weekend for Arsenal to steady the ship and, yeah, show that we are pretty good. 5-1, huh? That would be nice. I do want to see some goals. Who are Liverpool playing at the weekend, by the way? I can't remember. Anyway, so yes, this was them getting promoted last season, full of excitement, but it's really not going very well so far. Their manager has a cool name, if you want a fact. It's Paul Heckingbottom. Yeah, the child in me thinks that's quite funny. So let's go through their results since they've come up into the Premier League. So first game, I think it was, they lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. So narrow scoreline. And then 2-1, they lost to Nottingham Forest. All of these, as you'll see, are quite close. So then they played Man City at home and they lost 2-1. So again, quite a narrow, like toughly fought scoreline. They did get knocked out of the League Cup in the second round, but I'm sure they're not too bothered about that because they need to focus their efforts on the Prem. They drew 2-2 to Everton, so they do have goals in them, but they also do have the ability to concede goals in them. They lost 2-1 Sheffield to Tottenham, and they also were down to 10 men. And I seem to remember that Tottenham only came back and won that after so they were leading 1-0 at Tottenham, and then Tottenham came back and won the game. They scored 2 goals after the 90th minute. So Sheffield were really close to getting the job done, down to 10 men against Tottenham. They're not a side to be sniffed at. I think they play a bit better than the results and their current form suggests. Like, honestly, they do play quite well. However, they did lose 8-0 to Newcastle, which gives me some hope. And as you'll see in my outrageous score prediction, if Newcastle can beat them 8-0, then I think we could do something similar if we're on our game, which we need to be. We need to be on our game. I'm fed up of these like dodgy performances. They lost 8-0 to Newcastle. Not good for Sheffield. And we just need to look at that game and how that was done. And then maybe we can do the same. Hey, I've just seen there's 16 people watching. Thank you. That's big numbers for this little channel. So thank you very much. Then they lost 2-0 to West Ham. Then they lost 3-1 to Fulham. Not great. Then they lost 1-2 to Sheffield United. To Man United. But Man United very nearly, it was like the late heroics from, was it Maguire and those guys? Manchester United are mad at the moment. But anyway, they did quite well. They've done pretty well against the bigger teams in terms of Man City, Tottenham, Man United. As I was saying, very nearly Tottenham, nearly beat Man United. However, a big weakness that they do have is when they go a goal up, they have like this huge record of conceding last minute goals. Like they get really sloppy towards the end of matches. And as we know, Arsenal are quite reliant at the moment on scoring very late in matches. So that could play to our advantage. Oh, Static. Everyone's sending good wishes to Static because you apparently were scared for your life this week. That's horrible. You survived. You're okay. It's been a disastrous week. Personally, I'm okay. Thank goodness football is here. Gosh, I really, really hope you're okay. That's awful, awful to hear. I'm so glad you're okay. And as you say, football is always here for when we are struggling, when we're worried about everything, when life is just going down the drain. At least there's football. So I know how you feel, although not specifically. But hello to Gwenfis, 17 likes, big up, thank you. 2-1 seems to be their go-to result. You're right, Rancid Pumpkin. Thank you for joining us, by the way. It's your season, pumpkin season, Halloween season, Rancid Pumpkin season. I hope you're living your best life. Endsman, we're here. Fran, are you saying we can beat them 10? Maybe, maybe not. Wait for score predictions. Record scoring coming. Go on, Eddie. Guna Gathering. You're so desperate for Eddie to score a hat-trick, and you're going to hate my starting lineup, but we will get there. Phil says, a little channel, but with the biggest and best Arsenal PowerPoint presentation in the world. Thank you. You hate Halloween? What? That makes no sense. Anyway, I love Halloween, just FYI. So, they've played 9 matches. They've won no games. And it feels like one of those things where Arsenal will just come handing out gifts. Santa Claus FC, as Curtis Shaw always says. It would be so old Arsenal to be the ones to grant them that first win. However, I have to have faith that we are the new Arsenal that was so good last season, that did not really get tripped up by these like easier matches, although no matches in the Premier easy. So I have to not feel the trauma of losing games like this. And I have to believe that if we're going on to win the title, which is what I demand from them this season, or I hope for, who am I to demand? But, you know, then we need to be winning these games. We must. And hopefully winning them comfortably. So, as I said, they've won none, lost 8. And I guess that means they've drawn 1, as we saw against Everton. They've scored 7 goals and conceded 24, which is quite a horrible goal difference. And they've had 0 clean sheets. So, if anything, we very likely will score. If we do not score, then I'm losing my head. We're here tomorrow evening, just absolutely losing it. But they will score. We must believe. So, going into this game, Arsenal team news. Oh, it's so frustrating. So, Gabriel Jesus against Sevilla. We'll do a quick Sevilla preview at the end, review at the end. Went down with a hamstring issue, and he told the press. Sorry, someone just distracted me in the comments. I need to focus, right? So he went down in Sevilla, and it was meant to be like a slight. He said it didn't feel too bad, but Mikel Arteta has come out today, and we're going to go through the press conference. Don't you worry. Mikel Arteta has come out today saying that he's likely to be out for a few weeks, and I feel like we've only just had him back. He missed the start of the season. He's only just come back. Like, I think he's only played like 1 or 2 games now. He's injured again. And Thomas Partey went away, played for Ghana, came back, did a couple of training sessions, and he is also out for a few weeks. And that's our starting defensive midfielder, arguably, and our starting centre forward. Sheffield, though, have 10 of their first team players out injured. So, you know, luckily we've only got these 2 guys and Timber. But yeah, I'm just getting a bit frustrated. I feel like we can't, through no fault of their own, we must be looking to replace these positions. Hopefully we've done that with Declan Rice for Partey, but Lee from Guna Gathering will say we've got Eddie as a backup for Jesus, and I'm prepared to put my faith in him, but at the moment I'm just not seeing the goals that I need from Eddie. So it really makes me feel like I would love someone like an Ivan Toney in January, very much so, because if Jesus isn't playing, say you've got on the bench Nketiah, who's the other one? Who else do we have up front? Nketiah, out and out strikers. Am I losing my mind? Okay, let's say Trossard. If I'm forgetting a striker, then let me know in the chat. So if we've got a bench of Nketiah, Trossard, and Toney, who I want Toney to play. I know he's not like this world-class baller, and people are saying we should be going for world-class players. Bring in Toney. Obviously, we can't rely on Jesus, and it looks like we've only got Nketiah really as an out-and-out striker backup. So for me, we just need another striker. AFC always, hello, saying Ivan Toney and Neto is a must in January. Absolutely. We completely need cover for Saka. And actually, I'm going to get into squad rotation and like where I think the squad is weak and where we need to be rotating more. So that's actually quite an interesting point. So we actually have Jesus as a backup for Nketiah. The way you typed that made me laugh. Havertz, Trossard, and Nelson available up front. Oh yeah, Havertz, I forgot. But we were told that Havertz by Arteta was brought in to be part of the midfield, and it seems like suddenly they're just doing a 360 and it's like, oh no, maybe he'll be better up front. I want to see Havertz working in the midfield if that's what he was brought in to do. This left 8 position is a real worry for me right now. But there are solutions. I would like to see Zinchenko there. But it is interesting, and we will get into it when we talk about the squad. So I thought we'd have a quick whiz over the press conference. So let's see. Oh, right. You must be specific because people are sensitive out here when you mention anything to do with Jesus as is God. Yes, you're. Yeah, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. However, it would be quite hard to every sentence say, like, by the way, I mean the footballer. But I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Havertz is my striker. Okay. Hey, Connor. Hello. Sup, Fran. Hope all is well. You guys must check out Connor, who also is an amazing graphic designer, like, amazing. But he does shows over on TJ Warren's channel, who is, like, so underrated. I love TJ. He should have so many more subscribers than he does. So head on over to TJ Warren's channel. He's so good. So anyway, let's have a quick whiz through the press conference because I thought some of it was quite interesting. Where have we gone? So Arteta conference. But meanwhile, guys, let me know where you're watching from. What? My light. Oh no. My light just died, guys. Oh no. I think I've just had a somewhat power cut. No. Okay, I'm going to bring the other light up. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, so sorry about that. Press conference reaction settings. So from the Arsenal website, let's see if I can get the screen share going. Present. Right, here we go. Thank you for your patience, everyone. As you know, I'm not the best with StreamYard. But we're getting there. Bit by bit, we're getting there. So let's have a little read along. Mikel Arteta reported that Gabriel Jesus will be out for a few weeks ahead of Saturday's visit of Sheffield United. So that's worded weirdly. Saturday's visit of Sheffield United. Anyway, so as we said, really frustrating. I'm sure Jesus is more frustrated than anyone, to be fair, but it's classic Arsenal, isn't it? It's classic. On the positive side, I'd like to see some players being given a chance to get a few goals. So we hold on to that. While it's a blow to lose such an influential figure in our team, Gabriel's omission does present opportunities. I just said that. For the likes of Eddie Nketiah or perhaps Kai Havertz to fill the number 9 role. So Mikel said, it's what we want to avoid, but with the schedule we have and the amount of games that we have, it's something that we knew was going to happen, Mikel admitted in his pre-match press conference on Friday. It's happening to every club in the Premier League, so there's no difference. And I actually really agree with him here. I think it's become, unfortunately, the managers do have to manage the squad in a way to prevent injuries rather than just playing whichever players they want to play each week. It has to be rotated. And Klopp is always going on about how congested the seasons are, how many games the players are being asked to play. And it's a whole other talking point. And I mean, next season for the Champions League, it's going to be 8 games in the group stages rather than 5. So it is actually a huge issue. And the teams are suffering. Something's got to change, but for now, we have to live with it. So he said there is depth. Obviously, it will depend on the injuries that we pick up and where we have that depth, because having injuries in certain lines is going to affect you in a way where you don't have the right replacement. Yes, certain lines. So far, we are coping with it, and everybody feels really connected. Everybody feels that they have a chance, and that's a really positive thing to have in the squad. Okay. If you say so, Mikel. I don't know. Mikel still has a selection dilemma when it comes to who will play the number 9 role in Gabriel's absence. Here's what he had to say on considerations for Eddie Nketiah and Kai Havertz. What you see where Eddie's coming from and what he's done the last 3 or 4 years at a club like Arsenal to play as a 9, he's made some huge strides. and it's merit to him and his mentality. He just loves Eddie. He absolutely loves Eddie. I don't think... I mean, what could Eddie do and still play? Do you think he could kidnap Win and still play? I reckon so. I think he'd just get a cheeky slap on the wrist, like, oh, Eddie, you joker, go and start for us. He loves Eddie. He loves Eddie. For Kai, it's the minutes that he's played. He's been really good. It's good, and it's difficult for the opponent as well to figure out who will play. Mikel, it's difficult for us to figure out who will play and where. Kai has no idea where he's going to play. Okay. I mean, on Partey, he's got a muscle injury. We're expecting him to be out for a few weeks. Surprise, surprise. I mean, he's just completely injury prone. I was listening to Curtis's stream saying apparently he was injured for like 2 games in the last, no, like 4 games or something in the last 2 seasons of, although that's not the exact numbers, but it was minimal. And compared to the amount he's injured at Arsenal, it's just our luck, basically. Yeah. Maybe it's just like an age thing. So it's a different injury. Is Partey injured because of playing for Ghana? And Mikel said, I don't think so. He was coming from a period of absence and he needed minutes. So he did need kind of warm-up minutes. He played with the national team and we always tried to be in touch with them. And they did, in fact, send out Arsenal's like rehabilitation coach with him. So they took all the precautions and he didn't play full games. So then we had 2 games with Chelsea and Sevilla, very, very close. We decided not to load him in the first game to play him in Sevilla. That's what we thought. We were wondering why he wasn't starting against Chelsea and why it was Jorginho. And yeah, he was resting him. So he was planning to play him for Sevilla, and then that happened in training. So sometimes it's difficult. You try to prevent it. You know, I don't think it's Arteta's fault here. He continues to say, if we were to get injured against Chelsea or against City, you would have said that we had rushed him. But then you rest him and he gets injured. So it's things that happen in football. I think like Mikel's spitting facts here, if you know what I mean. So they did do everything they could to try and prevent it. And Partey still managed to get injured. You know, if they had played him against Chelsea or City, then they would be criticised. But they rested him and he still got injured. So really, there was not much more they could have done. It's just one of those things. And it feels like we have Partey for like 40% of the season. So thank goodness we bought in Declan Rice, honestly. So what else? Right, on being able to rotate the squad, I want to see what he says here. I haven't read this, by the way. We have 3 big players, now with Jurian, who has a long-term injury, with Thomas and him. Okay. What? One thing is to rotate the squad. The other thing is for the squad to have the level to pick the right players and rotate them in the right moment. Mikel, they're your squad. You bought this squad in. If they don't have the right level, why did you bring them in? Sorry. I know I'm like nitpicking here, but for the squad to have the level to pick the right players, you chose these players. Trust them. Because then you're rotating the squad for the first game, but after the squad needs to carry on playing with the injuries. Okay. I sometimes struggle like with his wording. It's what we want to avoid, but with the schedule that we have and the amount of games we have, it's something that we knew was going to happen. It's happening to every club in the Premier League, so there's no difference. Right, Odegaard, this is interesting. On if Martin needs a rest. To get to the level that they perform and our front players last season, okay, so to be as good as last season, that's very difficult to do or see. It hasn't happened in the Premier League, so we need to be conscious of that. But that's about form, about putting him in better positions and doing things better in certain areas to help him have the game that helps him to explore his qualities. It's just word salad. They have played a lot of minutes, and that's a consequence of that. If anyone can decipher what that means, then he honestly says so much whilst saying so little. I actually can't. All right, anything else? On what he expects against Sheffield United, I'll finish up soon. Looking at the way they have played against all the top teams and how much they've suffered to beat them. Some of them scored... Oh, the top teams have suffered to beat them. Yes, some of the top teams scored in the 100th minute. Some others scoring late goals. They've been really tricky games, so we expect the same. They're fighting for their lives. They want to win like we want to win every single game, and it will be a tricky game. So yeah, I really do not have the time to read all of this, and I'm sure you guys don't want me to. But as always, it's on the Arsenal website. I mean, I don't trust anything he says ever. Let's see what you guys had to say about that. Okay. Hold up. I'm going here. Chat catch-up time. Let's see what you guys had to say about that, because that to me was a load of gibberish. Now, chat. Fran's light just died. Should we prepare for the funeral? My light does seem to need a funeral. I don't know what's going on there. I'm gutted. Anyway, so we always patient, Fran. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that. Jesus won't be back until the international break. That's what it seems like. 20 likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's try and get to 45. I know but you guys have all liked already. I know you have. Otherwise, I'm coming for you. Said in the least threatening way possible. Anyway, give ESR a chance as well as El Neni. You will quite like my lineup then, because I'm pretty sure I want to start ESR. But El Neni, that's a really good point. That is a really good point. Is that flashing light a bit too much for you guys? That's a bit much for me, I think. Right. Ooh, colour. Nice. So thank you guys for all the kind words towards Static. AFC always says, Fran, I wouldn't even play Saka. He still looks burnt out and still looks like he's carrying an injury still. Yeah, in my lineup, Saka's not starting. So we're going to get there soon. Arteta making excuses. We all know he won't rotate much. We're going to talk about rotation. I want to see it. I want rotation. Eddie is Arteta's weird crush. Saka needs to rest. Start Nelson. Yes, I want to see Nelson. You understand. I reckon Win the Dog will have more chances to score in this game than Eddie and Nketiah. Oh, Guna Gathering's not going to like that. Eddie and Nketiah, 30 games, 2 goals, pathetic, worst strike in the league. It's not good. It's not good enough, is it? It's very... But people really, are trying to convince me that he's good, but he just doesn't score enough. I'm not going to get into an intellectual debate about why I rate Eddie Nketiah or don't. I just don't think he scores enough. When you get it to him, you don't think, oh, he's going to bang it in the back of the net. You think, oh my God, he's going to miss it horribly. Sorry, Eddie. Go back to the disclaimer if you're watching. Partey is the new DRB. Yeah. Right. Oh my gosh, I can't even keep up with your comment. Saka needs goals, not rest. I agree. I do agree. Right. Why all this Eddie hate? I don't get it. I'm sorry, Rancid Pumpkin. Maybe he just needs a start. I don't know. I just can't make up my mind about him. I feel like he misses too many good opportunities. But by no means am I Eddie hating. I think he's such a cool guy. His attitude's amazing. Arteta loves him. I think I just get frustrated. I do get frustrated, but I do believe in him. It's really difficult. Rancid Pumpkin said he isn't that bad. He already won us 3 games this season. Maybe I just need to watch him a bit closely. Maybe I'm just listening to everyone else saying we need a new striker. He's not that good. Maybe Arteta sees something I don't. And Rancid Pumpkin, keep blowing that trumpet as well as Guna Gathering, because maybe I'm just not seeing it quite yet. Saka started getting sassy. Oh yeah, let's just keep starting Saka. He'll get injured again. Don't say I didn't warn you, people. You heard it from Static first. So I'm sorry I can't get to all your comments, but Phil said Arteta is pure comedy in press conferences these days. Yeah. Nothing will beat the one about his journey to work on the M25 and comparing that to squad depth. That was beautiful. And Lottie's here. Hello, Lottie. We should do a preview together for the derby. So if you guys don't know, that's my twin sister. She supports Manchester United, and they of course have quite a big game this weekend against Manchester City. So as much as I don't like Manchester United, I would not mind them doing a job against City this weekend, because every little helps. Tesco, every little helps. So Lottie said, I'm here. Better late than never. Bit like Maguire's return to form this week. Better late than never. 2 years late, but I'm kind of here for a late Maguire resurgence. Like come on, Harry, do it. Prove them wrong. I would just laugh if this whole time, like, he's been right that, I don't know. The whole Maguire thing is just endless entertainment. But anyway, so there's a bit of tactical stuff that I'll zoom through quickly, which was quite interesting if you want to kind of hear about, or I could just summarize it, but I think I'll read through it. I'm feeling thorough tonight. So Adrian Clark, writing in the official matchday programme, usually a 3-5-2 side. The Blades only had, by the way, they're called the Blades because in Sheffield, sorry, just to digress, they're made like the industry where their stadium is. They made cutlery like back in the 1800s, so they made like blades and knives and forks. It's a pretty cool story. Anyway, so okay, I'm just going to skim over it. So their front man got injured against Man U, but they predict the Heckingbottom is such a good name. Their team will sit off and keep a compact shape behind the ball before releasing their pacey forwards with early passes into channels. So what he's basically saying is, as probably we would expect, Sheffield United will probably sit deep and compact and try and hit us on the break, which might have worried me perhaps the season before last, but the pace of Saliba and Gabriel, we're actually really good at defending breaks now. I don't feel like we're so... And also our backline sits a little bit deeper than last season. So we've actually been really quite well protected against teams trying to do that, which is a nice tactical tweak I've seen. So they're going to try and sit back and hit us on the break. And basically it's just going to be a case of us trying to break them down. And we should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. I hope that all this isn't going to come back and bite me. But anyway, so they don't like much possession. They have an average of just 38% possession this season. Their focus has been on defensive organisation, probably wise, coming up from the Championship. At Emirates Stadium, the Blades will allow us to dominate and their approach will be direct from any transition. So we just got to watch out on the transitions, but I trust Saliba and Gabriel and those guys to kind of be able to handle that. So fingers crossed it will be okay and it will be a goal fest. But it could just be a slog where they're sat in their box and we're just trying to break them down. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, lots of words in the PowerPoint today. So, yeah, these are a couple of interesting bits. So this was by Opta, saying they are perhaps unsurprisingly bottom of the Premier League. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, right. An upset win on Saturday would take them to within a point of safety. Big strides, big strides. History will tell you that an away triumph for Sheffield is unlikely. London has been far from a happy hunting ground of late for Sheffield United, who have lost their last 9 visits to the capital in the top flight. That's not very good stats for them. They have won just 2 of their 32 Premier League away games in London, losing 22 and drawing 8. That's pretty encouraging stats, I think. Arsenal are also famously like really good against promoted sides. So yeah, we're yet to lose this season. Kai Saka's been really good, blah, 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 blah. You can pause and read that. I can't really be bothered. I want to get into the interesting stuff. Not that this isn't interesting. Sorry, Opta. Opta analyst. Very interesting, but we'll move on. Basically, the odds are in our favour. The force will most likely be with us. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me. It's looking good. It's looking good. So anyway, as we kind of touched on this slide before, which was saying that they've actually done really well against Tottenham, Man U. So there is a threat, but I think we should be okay. Right. Interesting part. Let's see. Keep hitting the like button. 10 more subscribers to 600 subscribers. Thank you. Taylor, working and listening to Fran cooking Eddie. Don't worry, we're going to get heated again. I'm actually I'm feeling quite passionate about the squad rotation thing. So, I mean, if you want to hear Arsenal fans freaking out for no reason, you're in the right channel. Taylor's got so coming for Endman saying, relax G, this guy I'm infiltrating still. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. Right. So this slide made me laugh. I'm going to put it on full screen. Whoever Jamie K is on Instagram, no, on Twitter. So they posted a thing saying FABIO, and then the first comment is this guy called Jamie, big up Big Bear Kent, just said, "Fuck me, he's alive." And that just killed me. I was like looking at who's available on Twitter. It just made me laugh. So yeah, Fabio Vieira, I forgot he was even in the squad. We haven't seen him play for so long. He had a couple of good performances that he's just been benched. And I really hate it when Arteta does this, because when we need these players, when we need to rely on them, when Odegaard's out of form, I don't know, maybe like now, he's had no minutes in his legs, and you're bringing him on and it's just going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. However, what was I going to say? The one ray of light in this squad thing is that we're playing a game where I think it will be the perfect chance to give players like Fabio, who we haven't seen for a while, minutes in their legs. So I'm gonna, guys, we're getting to it. We're getting to my outrageous starting 11, which you're gonna hate. You're gonna hate it. But anyway, we're getting there. So I don't know if you guys recognize a couple of these. Cedric Suarez. I forgot he even played for us. Honestly, I was on the Arsenal website looking at the full squad and saying, like, who do I want to see get some minutes? And we're going to talk about it. But I want to see these guys getting minutes tomorrow and in general, because Arteta is talking about the level of the squad. How do you raise the level of the squad and get them match ready? You play them. I'm so fed up with us relying so heavily on our top tier players that when inevitably injuries do happen, the guys next in line have no minutes in their legs and just completely look off the boil. Lottie has asked us all a question saying, who's your favourite player, please? For me, it would be at the moment Gabriel Martinelli. So I just love him. I love him. That's my drawing of him. And recently he's looked so electric. I think he just needs to keep on scoring the goals, and he's really getting up there to be one of the most exciting talents in Europe. I think he'll thrive in the Champions League. Just, what a player. I absolutely love him. You guys, let Lottie know your favourite player. Ranted saying, Cedric, you're mad. I don't want to see this guy anywhere near the bench. Right. Bear with me. I will explain. I can explain. Right. So I was looking at our squad and the depth, and technically I was thinking, if Ben White gets injured, like, who is there to back up right back? And like, technically he's the only official right back cover. So guys, what are we doing if Ben White gets injured apart from playing Cedric? I think we're resting too heavily on our laurels that Ben White is always fit. He's made of titanium. He's always going to be in form. And like, credit to Ben White, he's so consistent. He never really has like a stinker of a game. But what if Ben White does get injured or loses a bit of form? I'm pretty sure, unless you guys have ranted saying, I don't need an explanation. relax. To be fair, that's a good point, Ashley. I do need to brush up on who our youngsters are coming through, but I would like to see more youngsters coming through, actually. You make a really good point. Arteta is not very good so far at integrating the youngsters. Like, when's the last time we're seeing... Well, I guess they're kind of on loan. But any good right-back youngsters, I'm so happy for that. But I think we've got a problem if Ben White gets injured. I haven't seen anyone talking about this. Everyone's seeming to get injured. If Ben White gets injured, who are we playing there? Thomas Partey's injured. He was the other right-back. It's Cedric. So, oh yeah, good point. Tommy is a right-back, really. However, when he's actually played so much better on the left for Arsenal. When he's had dodgy performances, he has been playing on the right. So I don't know. Ends man. Yes, I would love to collaborate. I love your channel. You're great. Yes, let's do it. Dave, hello. Dave, welcome to me trying to say that I would start Cedric soon. Please bear with me. So if Ben White's injured, we're screwed. Renzo Pocket said, I'd rather see Raya playing right back. He'd probably do a better job as well. But anyway, I do that to raise a point of where's the depth at right back? It's not there. Right. And Kiwior, I was looking at if Saliba or Gabriel, God forbid, both get injured, like Saliba, this is actually really difficult because Timber would have been great. But if Saliba gets injured again, we've just got Kiwior, and this is actually quite a big one. Or if Gabriel gets injured, he's the only traditional centre-back cover, but Tommy can do a job there really well. Either way, but if those guys get injured, you're going to bring in a Kiwior who you've not played all season. And this is the problem that I have with our squad rotation. You're happy to rotate, but only rotate the top tier players. That just makes the gap between the guys like Kiwior who aren't getting minutes and your Trossards, who else comes on, Havertz, is wider. And when we need to rely on a guy like Kiwior, he's not going to be match fit. And there's a difference between being physically fit and being match sharp. He needs minutes. We're not seeing it. We're not in the Europa League anymore. You're going to have to give guys like Kiwior minutes in the Prem. Perhaps when we're closing out a game, or games like this, where we're likely to have quite a lot of possession and he's not going to be under too much pressure. But when we need to rely on these guys, they're not going to be fit. You need to be doing it now, rotating now, making sure everyone's ready to go should these injuries happen, because we've seen this season that these injuries are happening, not just in Arsenal, but in every team, and all of our squad needs to be ready to go and up to the levels. So, Goonie Gathering said Kiwior might play on Saturday for Saliba. I hope so. If Benny White gets injured, Phil's heart will break. You should write him a poem. You should write him a poem if he gets injured. Right. And this guy, Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson. That was like a song. I'm getting really heated about all this. Saka cannot play every game, okay? Clearly. And I know he does play every game, and despite it, he always does manage to somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat. He'll score a goal or do an amazing assist. But we've seen how he's been played into the ground. He's getting little injuries, which he never used to get. He missed international break. You need to rotate Saka. And why do you have Nelson on a new contract if you don't trust him at all? Has Nelson played this season? Has he? I think he's great. But last season he was coming on off the bench and he's so explosive. He's got rapid pace. He's powerful. He's direct. Let him play. Because if Saka does get injured, what are you going to do? Play Jesus? Jesus did play well there, but Jesus is always injured. It's not the case that Saka needs to be dropped or whatever, but I do think he needs to be rotated. However, Nelson won't be ready to come on. This is what I'm saying. These players won't be match sharp when we need to rely on them because they haven't been given minutes. You feel me? You feel me? So Nelson needs some minutes, and you're going to see in my starting 11 that I would be giving him some minutes. These guys need to be ready to go. So, right, the reason I would perhaps give Kai Havertz some minutes is that you better make this guy work. I've spoken about him a lot. Kai Havertz, £65 million. My voice just broke there out of anger. Arteta specifically said that we've bought him to play in midfield. So I don't like us saying already, 8-9 games in, that he needs to play up front. This whole midfield thing's not working. No. Have confidence, Arteta. If you think and you saw that he was going to play really well in this left 8 midfield role, I think you should keep working at it. We all need to have patience. I think if Arteta thinks Kai Havertz can work there, we need to try a bit longer and try and make it work, because that left 8 role is looking real dodgy at the moment. I don't know if Havertz can do it. I do not. But it's really difficult. I mean, maybe just scrap the whole left 8 thing and have him as a striker. But then I'm annoyed because we've sold Xhaka and spent 65 million on a replacement that we're not going to play there. So there's just no one replaced Xhaka? Is that what we've done? Okay. We replaced Saka with someone, but we're just going to have to play him striker because it's not really working in that position. No, not happy. No. We feel you, Fran. Keep banging the drum. Thank you, Phil. You're getting frangry. I'm going to block you. No one wants to see that, Lottie. Agreed. You would be getting angry if it's it's my live stream, I'll be angry if I want to. I need sleep. Anyway, let me try and hide that comment. And these guys, don't get me started. Anyway, so Fabio Vieira, yes, he's still alive. He's still part of the squad, but you wouldn't know it, would you? Because he goes out of favour for some reason that we don't see behind the scenes. And it could be perfectly legitimate reasons why these guys aren't getting loads of minutes. But how are you even going to properly know if you don't see them on a match day? Players can be rubbish in training, but really step it out of the bag on a match day. Like, maybe you don't rate them in training, cool, but give them a chance on a match day. It's different. It's different. So, as we've seen, Odegaard not completely in form at the moment, but what alternative do you have when Vieira hasn't played for weeks and ESR just gets the odd 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game? Odegaard's out of form, we're screwed. Ben White gets injured, we're screwed, because these guys aren't getting the minutes in their legs. They're not getting the game time. And it's one thing that I've always criticised Arteta for. Like, too often our main guys get injured and you're bringing in a player that we haven't seen all season, that's just been sat on the bench and hasn't played in the matches. And it's different to training. You've got to be there in the stadium, match day, like getting the mentality, getting in sync with the team, because otherwise when they come in, they're going to look like a duck out of water. So I want to see ESR and Fabio being prepared for Odegaard being out of form or potentially being injured, because we know that Odegaard's barely ever injured, but I feel like that's just like players like that in a season like this will eventually get injured, like Saliba. You know, we must prepare for injury. And I'm glad you guys are kind of agreeing with what I was saying. Rancid Pumpkin, the 100s from you, many thanks. You guys are cool also in the chat. Guys, Ensman likes us in the chat. I love that. I'm glad you like our chat. Ensman saying, Taylor, I would love to jump on Fran's channel. I love it. She's an Arsenal fan. That's big. Not many people like many Arsenal fans, so thank you. I'd love it. When we play you guys, you're the Liverpool fan I'm calling. So as I said, at the moment I'm building like the solo channel just to get like my profile out there a bit, and that will mean that I've got a slightly bigger name to be able to collaborate with guys like you, and it'll be worth it for you. So there's a plan, don't worry, it's coming. So we've done a bit of chat catch-up time, and I've spoken about kind of my arguments as to why some of these players need to get more, but now we're going to actually go to the starting 11. And Spurs start in 5 minutes. There's no way I'm going to get this done in time. But anyway, maybe we'll be done in like 10, 15 minutes. I want to try and watch a bit of that Spurs match. So Taylor said, Fran, I think Arteta has beef with ESR still. I'm so confused. I don't think he's got beef. I think he doesn't rate him. I just don't think he thinks he's good enough. But my argument is, how is he going to be good enough if you're not giving him like the minutes? He needs to be played into form. I get so annoyed that players like Nketiah and Havertz are given the chance to play themselves into form. Like, just give them the minutes and they'll get there. Whereas ESR, who's been out for like 500 days with his groin injury or whatever, the only way he's going to get up to match sharpness is to give him more minutes. Give him a chance. Give these guys who aren't performing well in training chances on match day, as long as it's not going to hurt us. And as I say, they're your squad. Why don't you trust them to come and help us out on games where other top players are not quite performing up to scratch? We need to rotate. Why don't you trust these guys? So we're going to get into the starting 11. You're a cold content creator. Thank you so much. I don't think anyone's ever called me cold before. So, new Fran. Thank you. My starting 11. Oh. So, I need you to tell me your starting 11s. We're also at 26 likes. It's not good enough. 45 is the target, and 600 subscribers by Halloween. Please. If you can share it or recommend it, that would be great. But yeah, we'll do it. Static said, Fran, I wouldn't say no to Nelson, ESR, Cedric, FABIO. Exactly. I want to see it. So let's get into my lineup, and you need to tell me what you think. Hello, Emerson. I don't think I've seen you before. Yes, thank you, guys. Be like Emerson and give us your starting 11s. But I'll take you through mine first. So This is the starting 11 that I think you will all hate. Please don't unsubscribe, okay? This is like taking it to the extremes. But I'm just labouring the point that I want to see rotation. Crispy, don't unsubscribe, please. So I know this is a terrible idea, okay? The only thing we've seen from Cedric was actually a really cute video of him playing with Win in the gym. So that he was in the training gym and throwing the ball for Win. It was really, really cute. But I do that to actually highlight to Arteta, because I know he's watching. I do it to highlight the fact that we're screwed if Ben White's injured, basically. Tommy can play there, but he might be starting on the left, based on how things are going. There's no other right back. Like, I went on the Arsenal squad and it's literally Ben White and then Cedric. But I mean, Partey's injured. Partey could play there, but he's terrible there and he's injured. And Tommy could play there, but he might be starting a left back. So I do that to just like alert, like alarm bells. Ben White is very consistent. He never gets injured, but we're too reliant on him. It's Cedric if Ben White is injured. And my point is that if further on, later down in the season, okay, I probably wouldn't start Cedric, right? Later on in the season, if God forbid, like something does happen to Ben White, he's out of form, he's not playing very well, he's injured. Because if he's playing 90 minutes every single game, which is what he's done so far this season, he will get injured. So the backup, either there needs to be a new one coming in January, or Cedric's going to have to play some minutes. So which one is it, guys? I think Fran's a hot content creator. Pause. I'll take it. Laughing gets me still. Pause. I've got a suspect laugh, so I'm glad you can put up with it. What has Win the dog got to do with the game tomorrow? Sorry. Win has nothing to do with the game tomorrow. Okay, but Cedric. Okay, we'll move on. So this is my like taking it too far starting 11. Saliba is going to start, although maybe it's the case for him to be rested as well. Right, Raya. I'm starting Raya because I hear all the arguments saying that Raya's not been good enough and Ramsdale should start. But my real thing is, if you do want Ramsdale to come back into the team, at least for a while, you have to wait for the noise to die down around this. Because if you start Ramsdale tomorrow, then all of it just erupts in flames in the press, okay? You need to wait for the speculation to die down, everyone to stop talking about it if you want a chance to sub Ramsdale in with minimum damage, okay? Wait for it to calm down, then bring Ramsdale in when no one's talking about it anymore, and it'll all be calm. Whereas if you bring him in now, Raya gets criticised, Raya's confidence goes through the floor, like, it's just a disaster. Wait for the media to cool down, Raya's our starter, chill, like, get used to it, everyone, whatever, let the speculation die down, then you can maybe bring him back in for a bit, and it's a bit more calm. That's my point. I do hear what you're saying, though. The noise is only getting louder with every mistake Raya does. And Arteta's probably there, like, my guy, you need to calm. Like, I've put my neck on the line for you. What are you doing? But I just think it will just make it 10 times worse if you then bring Ramsdale back in. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, let it all calm down for a bit, unless Raya has a stinker. But I have faith in him, and we need to support him. He's a new Arsenal player. Like, it really upset me to hear that people were shouting for Ramsdale the other day when he was playing. Like, come on, have some class. So, hello, Bernie. Evening, Fran, to all in the chat. Just did our preview. Bless. Oh, yes. Remind me. I'm so sorry. Are you the Arsenal Circle or the Arsenal Opinion? Remind me what channel you're from, and I'll go over and watch it. Everyone subscribe to it as well. Gooner Gathering does make a good point, saying we want to be careful with Martinelli and Trossard because of their previous injuries. Yes, but I don't think Trossard's got like many minutes really. So let me go through the rest of the lineup. I want Kiwior to start for the reasons that I just made in my passionate rant 10 minutes ago. We need these players to be ready to step in. They need to have match minutes. They need to be match sharp in case the other players need a rest, which they will because we have so many fixtures this season. So I want Kiwior to get up to speed, bring him up to scratch. You brought him in, let him be ready, be rotated. It's a squad game. We need, 18 players all at like ready to start whenever, because injuries are happening, players are getting tired, getting fatigued. Give Kiwior some minutes. Tomiyasu, I think he's completely earned his start at left back, although I worry about giving him starts because he's also ridiculously injury prone. But he did great. Apparently, what was I going to say? Apparently, they attack on the right quite a lot. Tomiyasu at left back, I feel safe. He makes me feel safe. Sorry, it just made me think like I need a poster or something saying like Tomiyasu makes me feel safe, and then like a blanket or something. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, I want to see VIEIRA starting as well because he needs to get minutes. I'm labouring the point, but Odegaard's kind of out of form. It'll give Odegaard like a firework up the backside. VIEIRA, let's see him having some minutes, or else he's just going to be like completely cold like when he comes in, and he's going to have no idea what's going on. Reiss, let's start you. I don't really know who we're going to play instead of you. Maybe Jorginho, but let's start you today. Just kind of control any of the errors that might happen as a result of having Kiwior and Cedric. If Reiss is there, I feel a bit more safe. I also feel safe if Reiss plays. Okay, so I said I would start Havertz here because I'm just annoyed that we brought him in and we're not playing him in midfield, which is what Arteta said that we would do. So Havertz maybe left mid. I'm going to see what you guys said. I want Nelson to start because Saka needs a break and he needs the opportunity to rest, to be rested, and Nelson needs to have minutes in his legs. So, and he's a good player. I don't know why he's not playing. Give him a chance, Arteta. Give him a chance. Martinelli can start because he's in great form. We're going to have to get goals from somewhere. So, Martinelli, I'll let you play. But please don't get injured, please. And Trossard or Eddie up front, that's kind of a debate for me. I think Arteta will start Eddie. And I'm actually okay with that. Eddie actually performs really well when he starts games. He is really not so good when he comes on off the bench. Like, he really struggles to get his foot in the game. Whereas when he starts, he does tend to score. So it might be a really good confidence booster to have Eddie. But I also think Trossard has earned a start, and I'd like to see him in that number 9 position, you know, striker, get a few goals. I think Trossard is like an underutilized tool, and I love him. He's so good. Certified baller. So Trossard or Eddie, let me know what you guys think. So let's see what you said. Hey, right, big up Ravi. Crispy said, hello. The midfield is fine, and the attack, Eddie shouldn't even be an option, otherwise also fine. Okay, feedback noticed. Fran, for you, what type of keeper is Raya? Arteta seems to think he's a ball controlling kind of passing out keeper like Edison or Allison, and he's got the potential for that, but you can tell he's not comfortable doing that right yet. However, I do think he's really good at one-on-ones. Like, he's really very, very mobile. Sometimes these goalkeepers, these tall guys, can be a little heavy on their feet. And what I noticed with him is he's so rapid. Like, he's really dynamic. So when I trained in goal, it's all about like being able to move as quickly as possible, like, and react and respond. He's really quick. I think that's a massive, like, good point of his. He's really good at like one-on-one defending. Really good. And considering he's quite small, he's just like a little Duracell bunny compact. Like, he's so good at like collecting crosses. I think he's really like, he's got such quick reactions. So I kind of trust him when the ball's in our box and it's going from one side to the other. He's got to be moving real quick. I think he's just a quick kind of keeper and good with his feet, whatever. But at the moment, he's flustered. But I feel like once he calms down, he's going to be really good. Because so often, like, it's not about just being able to stop shots anymore. It's about responding to what's happening in the box, deflections, things like that. And he's really quick. He's like lightning fast reactions. So that's kind of what I see from him. I hope that made sense. But come back in like a month when I've seen a bit more of him. Goonie Gathering, Static says, you could also say to be careful about Rice's previous injury too. Yeah, hopefully that was kind of just a one-off, like a little tweak of, I can't remember what it was a tweak of, but based on his previous history, and that's not saying much when you move to Arsenal, he's quite injury resistant. But knowing us, he's going to be injured like every week now. Brenny's saying he would have Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to see. Cedric's no way ever going to start. And then later on in the season, we're going to need to rely on him, and he's going to look like a 70-year-old man because he hasn't had any match fitness. Whatever, who am I? Who am I to say? Jorginho, Reiss, ESR. I'd like to see ESR. I do think you're right in that Jorginho and Reiss will probably start, which, okay. ESR, I would love to see start. I would love to see start, but he didn't even make an appearance against Sevilla, so I don't know how likely that will be. Saka, Martinelli, Havertz. Havertz up front. Interesting. I don't know if we'll see it. Static says Arsenal lost class. It is the Armory TV. Guys, it's the Armory TV. We've got someone from the Armory TV. Those guys are massive. Absolutely love that channel. I'm friends with Chris, that you guys go on with. You know Gunner King Chris? He's awesome. Everyone subscribe to the Armory TV. If you haven't, if you've been living under a rock, they're one of the biggest Arsenal channels. And I feel honoured that you've come to say hello. So I'll go and check out your preview as well. You guys, lots of love for Highbury. You can't wrap players up in cotton wool. Arsenal don't have that luxury. I agree, but you also do want to be resting your starting 11 and giving minutes to other players for when they're needed later on in the season, which the wheels came off for us at the end of last season when big players like Partey and Saliba got injured and the backups we had for them were not up to scratch. So for me, earlier on in the season, give all the squad more minutes so that when we need them later on, they're ready to go. Anyway, so Mr. Waffles, hello. I've seen you in other chats. Welcome. Sheffield, is Mr. Waffles a nickname for Arteta? I think it might be. Sheffield United is Eddie's level. I think he'll score a brace. That's such a backhanded compliment. Fran is certified and knows football at all levels. That means a lot. Thank you. I feel like when there's so many like good content creators, you just feel like sometimes you're just like an imposter. But anyway, Eddie starts and does much better. 27 likes, 12 more subscribers to 600. At the start of this stream, it was 10 more. So we're actually making negative progress, but it's okay. If they don't want to be here, they can leave. Anyway, pearls before swine. So in hindsight, we didn't. Oh, you guys are talking about this Highbury thing. Okay. Let's move on to what I think we might see tomorrow. So I think we're probably going to see something very similar to what Brenny said. And also, I missed someone else's lineup. It was Emerson's, I think. You wanted Raya, White, Jorginho, Reiss, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Nketiah, Trossard. Okay, so you want a very similar one as well to Brenny. My one was like out there, so I totally understand. Anyway, so right, what I reckon we might see tomorrow is so you guys know I think that Arteta is really stubborn. So I think Zinchenko might be he's his favourite starting left back, even though Tommy was really good. So I think we might just see Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, White. You know, the normal. And then Reiss and Jorginho, which he seems to love at the moment, is doing okay. I mean, Odegaard, I think he's going to play him, even though he clearly needs a break. And then Martinelli, Saka, and he will probably bring in Eddie, which I'm okay with up front. And this team should get the job done convincingly against Sheffield United. I really hope so. So that's probably what I think we'll see, and we'll see tomorrow what he actually does, but I think that's probably what's quite likely. So Static said, Fran, the haters are missing out. Sure as heck they are. So exactly, he'll pick the same team, lol. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see this starting 11. I'm getting old. I see Reiss and I think Pat, bless him. Yep, I'm too young to understand that joke. Not that I'm not like bragging about how young I am. But anyway, guys, give me your score predictions. Thank you for joining me on this preview. I do kind of want to touch on Sevilla, but we won't do the full player ratings, I don't think, because I want to watch the Spurs match too. So I'll just whiz through the Sevilla player ratings. But so okay, so my logic here, Ranted Pumpkin's going to also unsubscribe. This is like, see how many people I can get to leave this channel because of my terrible football takes. Right, it's kind of a joke, but Newcastle 8-0. They won 8-0. We're better than Newcastle, hopefully. So we should win 9-0, right? Absolutely not going to happen. Knowing Arsenal, it'll be like a 2-1, as Rancid Pumpkin was saying. We're probably going to make it way too tough for ourselves. However, the substitutions have been great recently, and also Sheffield United love conceding late on in the game. So even if we do go a goal down, I think we will come back and win it. And whatever, it doesn't matter about the score. I just want the 3 points, which hopefully we will get. Otherwise, I'm losing my head. So honestly, I think it'll be 2-1. But if Newcastle beat them 8-0, we should be able to beat them 9-0. That's what I'm saying. 2-1, Arsenal to lose. You really reckon so, Ends? I do not even speak that into existence. That would be so Arsenal. We will link up after this match, and if we lose, then you get full credit for seeing that first, but I refuse to even entertain that. It cannot happen. It cannot. 3-0 Arsenal. I hope it will be more. Stack said, Fran, you're doing great. Keep up the good work. Another great pod, Fran. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm trying. I can't believe we lost 2 subscribers throughout this pod. Anyway, thank you guys for still being here. Ravi reckons a 1-1 draw. So you guys are not like at all as confident as I am. We do need to be careful, but I think we'll get it done. It's just kind of how well we will get it done. It will, and Spurs will lose also. Please, Spurs will lose. Oh my God, do not, because do not. Imagine if Spurs lose, and then all we have to do is beat bottom of the league, Sheffield United, to go ahead of them, I think. Yeah, because we're 2 points behind. And then we lose as well. No! And if that happens, my God, that cannot happen. What would be worse than us losing is if Spurs lose as well. No, do not speak it into existence. No. Okay, Sheffield aren't it. They're not it. We are winning. We must win. We must win. We must. We should. We don't even entertain the thought of not. But anyway, so that's me with our Sheffield thing. We need to win. We should win. I want to see some rotation. I was going to do like the Arsenal Sevilla player ratings, but I think I might save them because I didn't get a chance to do a Sevilla reaction. So obviously we won. I was really worried about that match. I'll just quickly go through them so that, because I promised you guys I was going to do a review and a preview of every match. So anyway, a quick overview. We actually won midweek. Hopefully that'll carry us through to this weekend where we can get a good result. Lineup, we saw basically what I think we're going to see again. Minus Jesus, I think it will probably be unchanged. Our players are all going to get injured, whatever. David Raya, a bit shaky, but at the end we won. I don't have time to do this, guys. Well, okay, we're going to discuss Sevilla. Basically, everyone had a pretty good game, especially Reiss. Reiss had a great game. Martinelli played amazing. Gabriel Jesus, fantastic in the Champions League. Get a move on, and he blew and did it. Oh, God, sorry. How long is Jesus out for, Fran? A few weeks, which could be a few months in terms of Arteta lingo. We don't know. But anyway, really good result against Sevilla. Substitutions were good. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me today. That is the extent of my Sevilla review. I'm just really pleased and pleasantly surprised. Substitutes were really good too. I'm going to leave you guys and say thank you so much for joining me today. Except you guys that unsubscribed during this stream. Good riddance. No, I'm kidding. Right. That's throwing me for a loop. Right, I'm going to go and watch the Spurs game. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really nice seeing the same guys back again. It's like great. So thank you so much. I'll see you after the game, after we've beaten Sheffield United 9-0. And thank you very much again. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Thank you, Rancid Pumpkin. Enjoy Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you after the match for a review. Bye. Oh, thank you, Mr. Waffles. Yeah, it's so rude. It's so rude. Everyone was okay. Okay, 28 likes. We're slacking. We're slacking. Next time we're going to get to 45. I love you guys. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.